Welcome back. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signing the newly drawn congressional map into law over the weekend. This map helps secure an additional 5 GOP-leaning House districts ahead of next year's competitive midterm elections. Now, Missouri Governor Mike Keogh announcing a special legislative session to redraw his own state's congressional map. The move could add another Republican majority district to Missouri and its 8-member congressional delegation. Joining me now is the 51st Attorney General of Texas and U.S. Senate candidate, Ken Paxton. AG, great to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
So glad to be back on. Hope you're having a great day.
And to you, walk us through these changes. Governor Abbott signing this into law this week, and we want to know what Texas is going to look like now going into the midterms.
Look, we definitely have a chance to have more Republicans in Texas. We've grown a lot in the last 5 years. Unlike some of these other states, we actually have grown, and our population has shifted because we've had a lot of people move from California and Illinois and a lot of Democratic states, people escaping to a freer place, which is Texas. So we have a legitimate reason for redrawing these maps, and it turns out we have more and more Republicans living in Texas, and that's a good thing for the country and a good thing for Texas.
I mean, you know, Democrats have been doing this for a long time. Are you expecting that they're going to come back and try to redistrict even more on top of the changes in Texas?
Look, in some of these states, I think there's 9 states where there's not a single Republican House member. It's hard to gerrymander any more than Massachusetts had, or some of these other states that have 0 Republicans, or even Illinois that is down to 3 Republicans out of, I think, 17, and they voted 44% Republican in the last election. So they've already done this for years, and the hypocrisy of calling us out for like doing something that they view as horrible, and yet they've been doing it for decades. It's only horrible because now we've caught on and we're fighting back.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Texas Senate race heats up. You are right now running for Senate seat. Senator John Cornyn is up for re-election. He says that he's confident in the outcome, AJ, but a recent poll says that you are leading Cornyn. 44% to 39%, 17% undecided. This is a close one. How are you going to get the voters to come out for you?
Look, I don't think it's as close as that poll suggests. I think the voters of Texas are pretty smart, especially Republican voters. In a primary, they know what John Cornyn hasn't done. They know what he has done. They know that he's voted against them on Second Amendment issues. He's not been a Donald Trump supporter. He's not been a border wall supporter. He's been against the issues that most Texans have really cared about a lot. That's going to come out in this election. And even though he's being dishonest about his record, we'll have enough money to talk to the voters and tell them the truth about his record and my record.
Are you expecting President Trump to get involved here?
You know what? I have no idea. President Trump, I have tremendous respect. I've been a supporter of his from the beginning. And unlike John Cornyn, I haven't flip-flopped just in the last couple of months because I thought it was something that was popular. I did it because I thought President Trump was the right guy both times, and I've supported him ever since he started running. So we are very different in our loyalty and our approach to President Trump.
So, AG, what are you expecting to bring to the Senate? Tell us what you want to do should you win this race.
Look, the first thing is, since John Cornyn has been in office, in 2002, the budget deficit was $6.2 trillion. Now we're over $36 trillion, maybe 37 by today, who knows. He has never been the guy to speak out against that type of spending. We definitely need to do something about that. And look, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be congratulated by Joe Biden for restricting Second Amendment rights. I'm not going to be the guy that's fighting Donald Trump on a border wall. I'm going to stick with the president on these issues. As soon as if John Cornyn were elected for his 5th term, and by the way, he's been in office since I was in college, and I'm 62. If he were reelected, he's going to be back to the real John Cornyn, not this fake John Cornyn that came about during the last few months since I announced.
I saw your tweet, AG, about Cornyn and what you're saying he is saying, because, of course, there is reports that mortgage documents are there that you signed that include inaccurate statements declaring 3 properties as your primary residence. I want you to clarify this because I read your tweet and you're blaming John Cornyn and his establishment swamp allies for what you're calling fake news to slander you. Can you clarify what happened here?
Oh, yeah. He's absolutely lying. He knows he's lying. So I have one homestead exemption I've applied for in McKinney, Texas, when you buy a house, so when I was elected Attorney General, you had to live in the capital. So I got a condo in Austin, and with that came a homestead exemption. It expires at the end of each year, so I never applied for a homestead exemption. It went away. Same thing with the next road. We ended up buying a house. The same thing happened. So each time, I actually had my primary residence changing because I had to live in the capital city. Now that's been changed. The Constitution now has been changed. You can live anywhere. But John Cornyn doesn't tell the full story. He slants it to make it seem like something bad happened, when in reality, he knows he's lying, and he is lying.
And you say there have been lies debunked and corrections issued. You're calling on news outlets to correct this story, AJ?
Absolutely, it's false, and they can verify it under Texas law that a homestead exemption passes to you when you buy a property, and unless you renew it, it goes away at the end of the year. You can't get rid of it during that year that you buy it. So he's misleading people, acting like I did something wrong, when in reality, every Texas person who buys a piece of property, there's a homestead exemption on it. You have it till the end of the year unless you reapply for it. I did not reapply for it because I already had a homestead exemption in McKinney, Texas. He knows that, but he slants the truth to try to make it look like I've done something wrong. That's the John Cornyn I know. He's dishonest.
Well, it certainly is political season. AG, we're going to be watching this race. Thanks so much for joining us and for your leadership there in Texas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, Texas AG Ken Paxton.